This segment's all about exit planning. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and this segment's brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. This is a series of spotlights on remarkable exit planning advisors from across the country and around the world. And joining me on this segment is Elliot Sinukoff. He's the founder of LifeCorp Financial. Elliot, welcome to the program.
Welcome. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your work and tell us specifically who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping?
Well, for the last 30 years, I've been offering retirement planning services to business owners. And I realized over time, we were always using a value ascribed by the client in their financial plans. And I realized as they were approaching retirement and tried to sell their business, a lot of them weren't able to realize that number. So their financial plan wasn't very accurate. Then I guess throughout COVID, as I'm coming into my 60s myself, and a lot of my friends are, I realized that most of them that are in business haven't done any type of planning whatsoever. And so I started to see some horror stories where their business got liquidated due to sickness or just shut down because of death. And I realized that it was important part of retirement planning to focus on their business as well and help them get ready to transition out of it.
Do these business owners realize that this process that helps them with this exists? Like, how much thought do they put into it? What are their preconceived notions about exiting?
They don't give much thought to it. They don't really want to deal with it. I find the baby boomers are worse because they identified themselves with their business and they just don't want to deal with it, or they don't realize how much time it may take to actually prepare the business for transition.
So help me paint like a broad overview of what this process looks like and what's it like to work with an exit planning advisor like yourself. How do you come in and help that business owner?
Well, what we do for them is we want to make sure that they're balanced, and it's more just than numbers. We want to make sure that they're personally ready to retire because some studies that get quoted very often, PricewaterhouseCoopers, it said that 75% of business owners regretted selling after the first year. And I believe a lot has to do with the fact that they don't have a plan for life after business. So, they come out there, the chief bottle washer, and then the next day, all of a sudden, they don't have an identity. They get bored. They don't have any purpose in life, and they kind of regret doing that. Or they may not be aware of how much retirement's going to cost them, and they don't have enough money to do the kinds of things that they want. And the other area that I see problems with is just that they weren't satisfied with the sales price. So they might have got an initial offer, and after they've gone through the due diligence process and everything like that, the offer has dropped and they take it and they're just not happy with the price. So that's the type of thing that we see. So I want to make sure that they're personally ready for retirement, that they're financially ready. They need to know how much they have to sell the business for, what it's currently worth, and we try to close that gap to get them there and calculate the internal rate of return on their business and try to, if they have enough time before they retire, we could increase the value of the business, and we'll try to hit their target that way. And I want to make sure the business is ready for transfer, that it can operate without the owner present, because a lot of businesses are owner managed and basically just a job for the owner. And you want to make sure the business is attractive to a buyer. So these are the types of things that I'm able to help them with.
What's the timeline like? What's the best time to start planning for exit, in your opinion?
Yesterday. I would say 3 to 5 years, and I try to encourage them to start 5 to 7 years in advance. And what we've seen through COVID is a lot of business owners just sort of got fed up, burnt out, and just decided to walk away. So some of them treat it like selling a home. And if you're selling a home, what do? You window dress it, you stage the house, and you try to sell it. But there's only so much you could do. And if given enough time, you can increase the value of their business, and you can increase the number of options that you have.
Elliot, what inspired you to get into this field and help business owners with their exit plans? How did you get started?
Well, I said as I started watching friends' businesses um, fall apart and not do any exit planning whatsoever. And then I looked at my own business and how much succession planning have I done myself, and I really didn't do that much. And then it was kind of a wake up call, and that's why I decided to get into the exit planning. And I think it's for a business owner, it's an important part of their overall retirement plan. Usually, the business is their largest asset.
Before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you regarding exit planning, something that you really feel is important to share and maybe neglected, or some words of advice that you could share with business owners today?
Um, well, the fact that only 1 out of 5 businesses manage to sell, and the success rate in transferring businesses down to the second generation is fairly low. They should start well in advance and start looking at their options. And it's generally the most important financial decision they're going to make, and they shouldn't leave it to the last minute, because the longer you leave it, the less options you're going to have. So
For,
start early.
for business owners listening now that would like to speak with you, how can they find you and connect with you?
Well, I work out of Toronto, Ontario. My website is lifecorpfinancial.com, and my contact number is 416-720-2746.
Elliot, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Great. Thank you so much.
That was Elliot Sinukoff, the founder of LifeCorp Financial, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.